Good morning, we're still on the west coast today. We were going to go camping at a really nice beach yesterday, but the weather turned really bad, lots of rain and wind, so we decided to give it a miss. But today and tomorrow the weather's looking a lot better. They're clear and there are some clouds, but it's meant to be rain free. So we're going to make the most of it and do some mountain walking. We found some mountains that are about 800 metres and the forecast at the top is meant to be about -9 wind chill. So we're going to be taking a lot of layers with us and waterproofs to keep warm. Down here at the bottom it feels like it's pretty warm. I mean, you can see in the van it's really sunny and it's warm in here. So I think we're a false sense of security at the moment. It's probably going to be freezing at the top. So yeah, we're just going to get ready now and then start our walk.
Sleepy fruit.
Squashed sandwiches, that's a flat sandwich. It's really warm, and as soon as you're in the wind it's really cold, so that's why a lot of layers are really useful. As you can see, it's windy. A lot of layers are really useful because you can, what I'm doing, take them off and put them on without like overheating, because if you overheat and then sweat a lot and then get cold, it's not great. So layers are the best way to go. Really windy up here. We're just stood in the shelter a bit, but we're being quite blown about. Sometimes it's a bit hard to walk. So we're going to see what it's like further up, because it's meant to be a bit of a ridge, and if it's too windy, I think we'll have to change our route a bit.
Yeah. See what it's like at the top.
Yeah. We want to be blown off the ridge. Roar. It sounds like a waterfall or something. The roar of the wind over the rocks. We've just come down from the really windy bit. It was sort of like a bit of a gully, so I think it was a wind tunnel. And we just sheltered behind this rock. So windy, I was blown over a few times. So we've just decided not to do it because it's just not worth. When it's that windy and you can't stay upright, I think it's just not worth it, not worth the risk, especially...
There's a ridge at the top.
Yeah, there's a ridge, so it's just not a good idea. I think you just got to be prepared for that when you're like walking mountains like this. That plans do change sometimes because the weather can change so quickly. I mean, the forecast was for what, 30 mile an hour winds?
35.
35 mile an hour winds up here, and it must be over 60.
Yeah, I think so.
Over 60 miles an hour for me to be blown over. So yeah, sometimes plans have just got to change. So I think we're going to go down and walk a valley walk instead of the bridge walk, which is a shame because we're really looking forward to it, but it's not worth it really. So yeah, Brochan's going up to see the ridge. I'm Brook. Nice.
God, that's so windy up there.
Get blown over.
Oh, almost. Oh, I slipped on the way down. The wind kind of pushed me over a little bit.
God, was it nice though?
It's quite exhilarating, but yeah, I think I could see the ridge and it looks quite steep either side, so it's a good idea we're going down the hill.
We've just stopped next to a little stream to have our lunch, and it's really sheltered down here. It makes us think that we could have walked the ridge, but I think it's a bit deceptive.
Tea?
Brochan's in the bad books because he forgot the teacups. I was in charge of sandwiches and he was in charge of tea and he forgot the teacups. So this is the ridge we were meant to come down, and I think there was a scramble at the end, so I think it was a good decision to ditch the ridge and go around the valley. Morning, we stopped by a river last night in quite a nice peaceful spot. We woke up to rain this morning, but it's dried up a bit now and the weather is looking a bit better. We're planning on doing another ridge walk today after yesterday, and hopefully the wind is going to be lower because the clouds up high look like they're moving a bit slower, so hopefully we're not going to have to change our plans again. So we've just got to our spot where we were going to start the walk. The mist has come down and we're going to start the walk anyway and see how it goes because there's quite an obvious trail, so I don't think we're going to get lost. And hopefully the mist is going to clear up. We've started our ascent up to the ridge and we've come into the fog now. The terrain is quite flat, so it's alright, and the visibility is alright at the moment. It's not too, we've still got quite a lot of, can see quite far. If it got like really close and we couldn't see much at all, we would probably turn back. Hopefully the mist is meant to clear up, so hopefully it does. Just come from up there, that's where we were in the fog, and we were going to come along all these ridges and up this. You can't really see how steep it was, but the fog was getting thicker and the wind was picking up, so we just decided to come back down, and then we've come up the valley here and we're going to do a bit of a less steep ridge because the weather's cleared up now. So we are just going to have something to eat now before we carry on up behind us. Can't really see it. And then we'll go up to the ridge and maybe to the top.
Hopefully.
Brochan's in the bad books because he forgot the teacups again.
2 days in a row.
2 days.
First regret. Just come down from the ridge and coming down into the valley back to the van. Brochan went up to the top and I didn't because I have quite bad vertigo, even though I like climbing mountains, and I actually had a bit of a panic attack on the top. It's very frustrating. I used to be quite good with heights and we did this very steep ridge, I think it's called the Herzogat Trail, across the Lake Interlaken in Switzerland, and it was fine, and these days I've just got really bad with heights, I don't know why, so I'm trying to build my confidence up again, but yeah, it's difficult. I just find, especially on ridges, I find it very scary, so yeah, it's quite frustrating for Brochan because his threshold of fear is a lot better than, like, higher than mine, so I actually stayed at the bottom and Brochan went up to the top. Anyway, nearly back at the van where I'm going to have a cup of tea. Really beautiful sunset as we're walking down the valley. All the mountains are like pink and orange. Now, and I've got my tea finally. I just wanted to elaborate a bit on the vertigo thing and turning back sometimes if you don't feel like you can do a walk.
with the vertigo, I made it up to the top of the ridge, and then I just froze. And I've never had a panic attack before, but I just started breathing like crazy, and I couldn't move really. And Brochan had to help me walk back down a bit. Yeah, I used to walk up quite crazy mountains when we went to Europe a few years ago for a few months, and we were scrambling up mountains around Lake Como in Italy, which are really steep, and the Hartzagat trail is like a really steep ridge. So yeah, I'm just trying to build my confidence back up really. But also, especially with social media now, I think there's quite a lot of pressure to finish walks if you've gone to do them, to get to the top and get to the trig point, or do crazy trails, which sometimes, like, you know, Cribcoch in Snowdonia, which can actually be really dangerous. And if you don't have the skills, or if you are scared, if you like freeze or something, it can be really dangerous, because, you know, you're on like a knife edge basically, and if you can't move, there's no way off. So I think sometimes it's quite important to know where your boundaries are and be able to turn back. And the same for like weather, like we've seen in the last couple of days, you know, when it's really windy or when the fog comes in, it's quite a good idea, if you don't have the navigation skills, or, you know, we can navigate but we're not like really confident at it. And if we were in thick fog, I'm not confident enough to navigate out of it if I don't know where I am. And also for me, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm calling out mountain rescue, although they're there to help people that have got into trouble on the mountains. I see them more as there for people, to help people that have got the skills to do what they're doing, whether that be like low level and not a lot of skill yet, or building up their skill, or like really skilled people. It's to help those people that are doing walks that they're capable of if they have an accident or make a mistake or something like that. I don't see them as someone, as people to come out and rescue me if I'm doing something that I'm not capable of, because it's putting their life in danger as well when they go out to rescue people in bad weather and things like that. I certainly, if I feel like I'm in danger, I won't do something. I do push myself, especially with Brochan, to do things that frighten me, but if I feel in danger, I won't do it. Yeah, I don't want this to all sound like a really negative end to the video, but I just wanted to say it more as a positive thing really, that like if you are more scared of things or don't feel that confident, there's a lot of people that are like that, and just like doing things that are in your capabilities and slowly building up your confidence and learning new skills, I think a much better way of doing it, rather than going straight out there and doing the scariest thing straight away. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we are now continuing down the west coast, so hopefully see you on the next video.